On episode 24 of the Holochronicles, Josh and Andy keep it weird and head to Portland, Oregon to the City ComicCon. We meet some amazing artists and some fellow collectors and just talk about things that go on at a con. The force is strong with this pod. Pass on what you're about to learn. What's going on, Andy?
Joshua, shout out to the BMB.
The Blue Milk Brigade. You know, we had a Blue Milk Brigade weekend, didn't we?
We sure did, man. We had a great weekend. For those that follow on Twitter, you probably saw some pictures from yesterday's events. Josh and I and Josh's daughters, we went to Portland, Oregon for the City ComicCon.
Yeah, the weather was beautiful. Northwest beautiful.
It was very moist out.
Which means the rain came straight down.
Which was thankfully we were inside for this.
Sure.
The Portland, or the Rose City Comic-Con, I should say, is probably not one of your bigger cons that you'll go to. It definitely does not compare to a Star Wars Celebration.
No.
You know, as far as number of people go, it's not
or
like
San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah. It's not even an Emerald City, which is in Seattle. But on the Saturday, it was reported that there were up to about 30,000 people that went through there. And that's quite a few. That's quite a few for Portland.
Yeah, and when we pulled up, we went on Sunday. The parking lot was full. And we talked to a gentleman in the external parking lot we found, like the parking lot that gets you into the main structure and keeps you out of the rain.
Yeah.
And we talked to a gentleman in another parking lot we had to find, and he was an exhibitor, and he said that was the first time he'd ever seen those lots completely full. Usually one lot was full, and you can go around the back and find the other, but they were both full.
On a Sunday.
And
yeah,
our luck was right as we pulled up. It was literally like, you know, showing up and you're like the next guy in line to get the exclusive deal, and someone slaps the full sign and moves it in front of your car. It was crazy. Like both places, we got that.
Yeah, we were the first car out.
Yeah, we were that's first in something. So
yeah, we were first, but not in an awesome way.
And then we had a poor experience with a droid, which was the machine that gets you your
parking ticket,
your parking ticket to put in your dashboard, and that thing took about 10 minutes per person. So the first line of the Comic-Con started.
This one's got a bad motivator.
It sure did. Yeah. But it took my money.
Yeah, just like a good little droid would.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, let's get this show on the road here.
Let's do it.
Show me your collection.
This weekend's Show Me Your Collection, hashtag Show Me Your Collection, comes from @the Canon Cantina. @the Canon Cantina. And I didn't catch the person's name, unfortunately.
Okay. Hey.
And I feel bad about that, because I usually do.
The name they really care about is their Twitter handle.
This is true.
So we got
if
that.
If they wanted their name in the Twitter handle, they would have
put it in there.
But instead, they chose @the Canon Cantina. And what they posted were 3 specific pieces out of their collection. It wasn't like a set of photos that showed the collection. They were just 3 specific pieces of the collection, which we would love to see any part or complete collection that you guys might have. If you know of anyone who might want their collection to be featured on a Saturday, send them our way. Have them direct message us, and anywhere from 1 to 8 pictures of what they got.
You're upping it from 4?
I am, just because I understand sometimes.
That's an executive decision. We did not vote on this. All right.
Well, how do you feel about it?
I say aye.
Okay.
All right, cool. 8.
Moving along. Anyway, the Canon Cantina sent us 3 pictures. And the 3 pictures were of, in no particular order, an immunization poster.
This is my favorite.
From, I believe it was Empire Strikes Back era, featuring R2-D2 and C-3PO reminding parents to get their children immunized.
However, they're in the Death Star control room where they shut down the trash compactor. So that's, obviously it must have been the Empire Strikes Back era because they're pulling photos from a movie that had released and not that one. But this is my favorite. It's ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous. And
Do your records show it? Call your doctor or health department to make sure. And may the force be with you.
And so this to
That's
me,
the tagline.
This to me speaks to the power of Star Wars merchandising, because not only were they on everything, toothbrushes, lunchboxes,
Sure,
pencils and pens, erasers, and
sure,
soap. You had Yoda molded soap that you could buy, soap on a rope, whatever, shampoo bottles. Star Wars was so big that they used the droids from Star Wars to remind parents to get your kids immunized.
So obviously,
I love that, by the way.
yeah, it's fantastic, and probably 3PO and R2 are not the biggest. Jenny McCarthy does not like those two.
No,
yeah,
not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan of
Definitely not
vaccination.
a fan.
So
the second picture was of a cardboard Episode 1 R2-D2 display. And the ones that I've seen in the past, like the dome would hold something, right? You'd be able to put cans of pop and ice in the top, and it was like a AM PM kind of display.
Where it was meant to be durable.
You could go grab a Gatorade out of it or something. But this cardboard display was, it was just a display. It was for Episode 1. And for the fact that it's that big and it's complete cardboard.
And in pretty good shape.
And in really good shape.
Yeah.
Somebody really had to take care of that. And so the Canon Cantina, tip my cap to you for that. The third piece was a Star Wars Celebration Chicago piece of art. It was featured from the movie Solo. So it was the scene where Han is sitting down to play, is it Sabak?
You always say Sabak.
And what do you say?
I say
Sabak?
I say Sabak.
I say he's playing space cards.
There it is. Space poker.
And it was signed by the artist. And if you zoom in, it says Matt Bush. Bush as in Bush Light, not as in what you have in your front yard.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just in case you wanted to look it up.
Perfect. Depending on where you live.
Yeah.
Sorry if you're in the desert where it wouldn't be Matt Tumbleweed. So there you go.
There you go. But anyway, that piece of art, you had commented on it too, that it's pretty cool.
It's fantastic. It's got great shadowing, and you've got just the hint of young Solo's profile along with young Lando, which are,
aliens seated around the table.
And then a giant alien sitting there. And it's cool. The big eye, the one-eyed guy.
Mike Wazowski?
Mike Wazowski's there.
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah. It's a great picture, though. It's very well done. And is that the artist?
Matt
Bush, not the front yard bush, but the
Bush Light.
The beer bush.
Bush Light.
Bush Light. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Not sponsors, by the way.
Not sponsors of the podcast. Yet. Currently.
There's White Claw. Have they called yet? This pod is sponsored by White Claw.
My goodness.
Yeah, we're losers.
No, we're not, Josh.
All right, thanks.
All right. That is actually a good segue into... I don't know if it was the highlight of Rose City ComicCon, but it was definitely my highlight. I'm going to say it was my highlight. Talking to a few of the artists that we happened across at the Rose City ComicCon. Josh and I both have our favorites, but they're different. They're not the same. We both liked, how many pieces of art did you get this weekend?
I only got one. I only got the one. You got two.
I got three.
Oh, you snuck another one in.
I got three.
Yeah.
And that, for me, the artists and the artwork, this is something that I'm not good at. I am not an artist when it comes to drawing or use of pencil and pen. That is not my strength. And so I think I have maybe more of an appreciation, not like it's a competition, but I really appreciate people that are talented in this area because I know I am not.
Sure. Well, and it's also fascinating, like to see some of those creations and then to meet the person whose hand, for me, it's like, wow, really? This is pretty cool.
I shook the hand that made
I
that.
shook that magic hand.
Yeah. Go, Josh, why don't you say the artist that
the artist I really appreciated, and what I like is that when you're cruising around a con, I always have this feeling. I've actually worked a showroom floor before in a convention, and you got the people that walk up and they're like, "Oh, cool, yeah, this is cool, yeah. Oh, I like that. Tell me more. And they're like, "All right, I'll go think about it," and then you never see them again. Mm-hmm. So I feel bad when that's my legitimate. I need to do that, and this guy, his art was so fantastic, movie poster quality. Like, as a matter of fact, I even asked him. I'm like, where else can I see this? And it turns out he's licensed by Lucas Arts, but he can do this for himself and then put out exclusive, creations for different events. Like in this case, the piece of art I got was from Star Wars Celebration 2019. So that was pretty cool. And his name is Steve Anderson. And you can find him at steveandersondesigns.com. Design.com. Is it design or designs? Design.com. Fantastic art. I'm telling you, if you compare this to any Star Wars movie poster, modern Star Wars movie poster, you would think he had a hand in it. So, and then some of his portraits of, say, like the one that I didn't purchase, but I was just in love with. It was almost too good. I couldn't hang it up. It was so good. And I don't even know what my reasoning is there. Is I appreciated looking at it and the memory of it more than maybe owning it. And that was of Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing pilot uniform and just the eyes and perfect capture of Luke. But I ended up buying his Celebration exclusive, which has, Force Awakens, Han and Leia hugging, and then it has, kind of the Falcon shooting up, and then young Leia, young Luke.
Is black and white?
No, there's some color in there, but not a lot. It's very, just muted tones, but very, very awesome. And probably, I don't know, 2.5 feet, 3 feet tall by 18 inches wide. Yeah. Just a beautiful, just awesome art. And if you go to his website, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I think it's the first image on his website. So I got one of those signed by him, but my original part of the story was I walked away. I was like, okay, well, let me go think about it. And I love actually doing that because I did that the last con. I went to the summer con where I just went and sat on it for a minute. And then as I'm looking at other great, amazing pieces of art, that one keeps popping up in front of it, in my mind. And I'm
you're doing a little compare.
I'm doing compare.
Every booth you walk by, like, do I like that one better?
And there's some amazing stuff. I mean, really, really good stuff. Anyone would be proud to own. And so the fact that one brought me back and brought my money back was awesome. So Steve Anderson Designs. And he's a local guy. He's an Oregon guy. And
I purchased something from him too because I was impressed with him, with his work as well. And he was a super nice guy to talk to. Oh, yeah. And his assistant was great. And
I think that was his wife, but I'm sure you can go with that.
Was it?
Yeah.
You think so?
I heard that.
Okay.
I heard that.
Well, you never know. I mean, I don't know. I want to assume anything.
If I call my wife my assistant.
Yes, if you call your wife, but if I call your wife your assistant,
you better do it right here where she's not around.
Yeah, just everybody duck.
Yep.
No, but they were great to talk to and very down to earth and
passionate about their work. His work. It's
and
so cool.
I bought a Star Wars Rebel.
Oh, I love it. And I got to be honest. I didn't tell you this, but I don't want to use the term letting you buy that. I knew you were going to. And this is something that it's hard for me to come to grips with, but also I need to.
Do we need to, are we getting something off your chest?
We
here?
are.
Okay.
And that is that sometimes you don't need to have everything, Josh. I'm talking to myself right now.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't have to have everything.
You could be talking
and if you're
to me
a good
too.
old buddy Andy gets a nice piece of art, then you just got to go to his place and look at it. And that'll be a reason to come over. Other than Andy, of course. It's wonderful to chat with that fella. But really, your main motivator is to go and look at that piece of art that you let him buy.
Well, then here's what I would say to that guy. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to purchase that
with your money,
with my own money. And you are welcome to come up anytime and covet it.
Thank you. Well, no, but an excellent artist. One of the best, in my opinion.
We will post some pictures.
We will.
And we'll tag him and maybe even get him on the show. Like, I
think that's an inevitable.
Yeah. He was just so easy to talk to. And he's got over 20 years of since 93 he's been working with Lucasfilm Entertainment
and beyond. He's got some Disney, he had some Frozen. I mean, and you can't tell the difference between a Disney, let's say, quote unquote, air quotes, a Disney artist and him. There's no reason he shouldn't be doing,
because he is.
Well, but I mean, but he's not, his stuff isn't published.
He's worked for Hallmark.
I know he has, but he's doing his own thing. So anyway, I may be misinterpreting his description, but
no,
it's really good stuff.
It's the point you're trying to make, Josh, is that he is excellent.
There it is.
So the artist that I was most jazzed to visit his booth is a guy who we've mentioned. It's been a while, maybe one of our early podcasts, but I've gotten some art from him before. His name is Jason W. Chrisman. You can find him on Twitter, though he self-admits he's not on Twitter a whole lot. But if you go jasonwchristman.com, you can see all of his prints. And he has somewhat, I don't know, would you call it like minimalistic?
Yeah, it's like modern art type looking. I don't know.
But he also uses light in really cool ways.
Very cool ways.
And so this is the second, I got a Cantina shot of, actually it was a Star Wars Celebration exclusive for Chicago. And he did a Bounty Hunters one a few years ago, I think, for Star Wars Orlando. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was Orlando.
I think you're right.
And I got that one. I love that one. But I messaged him on Twitter, said, "Hey, are you going to be down there?" 2 years ago, I went to the Rose City ComicCon. That was the last time I was there. And that's where I was met him.
Okay.
Yeah. But didn't you go last year too? But with your kids or?
No.
Okay. So for both of us, it's been 2 years. And I told him that I was going to be there, and if he had a copy of that left, that I really would love to have one. And he was like, "Yeah, no problem. Come down, say hi, remind me who you are." And so we went down there, told him who I was, and he's like, "Oh yeah, thanks," and chatted him up for a while. He's a super nice guy. His dad helps him out with his booth, and
Dad was in there smiling.
Yeah, and he said, business was good that weekend, and he's a Portland artist as well. So also a pretty good chance that you might end up hearing his voice on this podcast.
For sure.
But Jason W. Chrisman, Christman.
Yep.
If you're looking for a phonetic spelling. There was a third artist who I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But I will get it because I have it I just forgot to bring it with me. And again, we'll post some pictures of all the art that we got. Josh, I would consider your new t-shirt collection.
Yeah. And we posted that up.
We posted that up. You're wearing one now, although no one can see, but it's the Star Wars Arcade t-shirt.
My favorite one.
There are times when you have to let your friends buy some things.
I saw it.
But you don't say it out loud.
Yeah. But you never say it on a podcast publicly.
But anyway, those t-shirts were great. I
think that's our pseudo collector tip is if you're at a con, go in and just kind of set your goal at the con. Like I didn't know what I was going in there for initially. And then I was like, you know what? I need to up my t-shirt game a little bit, represent. And so I focused on, going to maybe places that I wouldn't look at before because of all the artwork and all the toys and things that are available. But I went to some t-shirt stands or whatever, displays, and I just targeted some stuff I just hadn't seen anywhere. And it's funny, when we posted that picture on Twitter, we had several people say, I have that, or I have that, which is cool because I had never seen them before. And I hope I meet some of them wearing the same shirt, and we can take pictures together. But good stuff, really creative stuff out there.
Awesome stuff. I'm always blown away by it. Now, Josh, we met some collectors.
We did actually owners of a
toy
shop.
Yeah, toy shop owners that they made our weekend. They made my weekend.
They made our weekend.
Because we were wearing the same shirt. If you look at our pictures on Twitter, you'll see the shirt. It's got our Blue Milk Brigade logo on it.
Right.
So it looks like a Jedi logo, but with a blue milk bottle instead of a lightsaber.
It's really insider, all right? So you got to know your stuff if you're looking at that logo.
But the back does say Holochronicles Podcast on it.
Right.
And so we were in looking at some of the Gentle Giant and some busts that they were selling.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
And we struck up conversation. I had been through the booth already, and I brought you back to look at some of the Gentle Giants because I know you like them. But how many do you have? Just the one?
I just have one.
But it's cool. And so I brought you back to take a look at them, and we kind of struck up a conversation with the two guys that were running the booth. And one of the guys is the owner of the toy shop, and they're out of Redmond, Oregon, which is near
beautiful.
It's kind of central Oregon. And they were like, Holochronicles Podcast. I've heard of you guys before. Yes.
And we don't know if he was lying or not, trying to get the sale, but it doesn't matter.
He's just being a nice guy.
He's heard of us now.
Now he's met us.
That's right. And those guys were from Comic Toys and Collectibles, like Andy said, in Redmond, Oregon, and just really cool.
What's the guy's name?
His name is Christopher Columbus, which is awesome. So we discovered him.
Well, he's discovered a couple of things.
Yeah. And you can find them on Facebook is probably the fastest, easiest way. They do like live auctions, weekly auctions. They're big comic book guys, plus toys, a great toy collection there of vintage stuff and beyond. And you can find them on Facebook at, just type in Geek Nerd. Pretty easy to remember.
Pretty easy.
Just look in a mirror and think of two descriptions of yourself and then double it up.
Geek, nerd.
Yeah, nerd.
It reminds me of
Stud. That's when I always get the
Boogie
URL
Nights.
wrong. Yeah, Boogie Nights. Yeah, there it is.
You remember that scene in Boogie Nights?
No, I don't want to remember it.
Okay, I don't either.
But
somebody told me once. But to pigtail onto that, Josh, you did buy something at that booth.
I did, and it could be one of my favorite pieces this week. I change it every week.
Yeah, that happens.
But they had a Gentle Giant bust, and it was a 2014 exclusive from the Star Wars Celebration.
San Diego ComicCon. Thank you for the correction.
Anyway, 2014. And it is a bust in more ways than one of Porkins.
Of Jack Porkins.
Oh, my goodness. He looks fantastic. His belt
is super. It's struggling to stay
on, and the unique part is that he's got his DL44 at the ready.
Yeah,
which obviously we never saw. Which to me means we're probably going to see some more Porkins. We've got
Disney Plus.
We've got Mandalorian.
Yeah,
we've got Kenobi,
Cassian Andor,
but Porkins. Porkins.
A Porkins story.
If they want to launch this platform, if they want to be able to raise the price from $4.99,
take it to the next level,
$14.99, it's a Porkins series. And I'd like to see where Porkins, the
Porkins series would be big.
We have a young, fit Porkins.
Yeah, just like
he's big on kale. He tells everybody
CrossFit.
Yeah, about how much he CrossFits.
Yeah,
he's
all
one
of those annoying guys. I CrossFitted and
threw
around the.
But he blows out an ACL, and that's what takes him into the piloting field. And also
he has to sit a lot because he can't run.
Lots of space pizza. Yeah. But anyway, Porkins bust is beautiful. It's sitting right here on our table. We're staring at it right now. The one thing is that he does have his blaster out, but it does not look like he knows what he knows what he's going to do with it.
It's like the first time he held it.
He does that, or somebody just stole his chalupa, and he is look at his empty hand. He's just yeah. So Porkins, that's just a fantastic bust, a great thing to have in a great talking piece, and there you go.
Yeah, talking piece.
So thank you to Comics, Toys, and Collectibles in Redmond, Oregon. Like I said, Geek Nerd on Facebook, and they do an auction, and I'm sure they ship worldwide. So.
If you happen to talk to Chris, tell him Holochronicles sent you.
Tell him Holochronicles sent you. Please do.
You do not get a discount.
No, neither did I. Porkins was full price. As much as 5 large pizzas.
Well, I mean, that's one way to think of it.
That's one way to think of it. Yeah.
Josh, I want to take just a moment here because this is the second Comic-Con I've ever been to.
Yeah.
How many have you been to? 3? 4?
4. Yeah.
Been to 4 now?
Yep.
And now that I've been to a couple, even though they've...
Oh, you're an expert now?
Well, not an expert, but I'm starting to notice some things. Starting to notice some things about the kind of people that you'll see at a Comic-Con, specifically the gentlemen, the kind of guys that you're going to see. I mean, everyone's there for basically the same reason. We either like comics or toys or movies.
Or all of the above.
Or all of them, correct. And this is an avenue that we get to kind of celebrate the sameness that we have, even though we're all very different people, of course. We all share this thing in common. And we get to express ourselves in different ways. You know, you can obviously dress up for these things, as many do. We get to kind of show off our fandom a little bit by the purchases that we make, by the T-shirts that we wear, by, you know, that's how we choose to express ourselves. But I'm noticing that there's a few kinds of guys that you'll run into at the Comic-Con that... I don't know if you've ever been to one. Maybe you know what I'm talking about.
Maybe you're one of these guys.
Maybe you're one of these guys.
Nothing wrong with any of these guys.
Not a thing, because you were there. So was I. So I can't judge too critically here.
Nope.
But one of the first guys I saw Sunday was he's the fedora wearing, handkerchief around the neck, cargo pants guy who's going to walk around. It's not a getup. This is just how he dresses.
Right.
He looks a little bit like the guy from Jurassic Park, the main guy, you know, like he just
can't think of his name either.
Yeah, dug a T-Rex out of the ground in North Dakota.
Right.
But he's kind of walks around and soaks it all in, is real introspective about it. He's thinking about it a lot, about what he's seeing and you know, if he likes it or not, but he's really internalizing the experience. He's very quiet, but he's walking around taking it all in. So there's that guy.
Sure.
There's that guy. A lot of cargo pants and cargo shorts at the Comic-Con, by the way. I noticed. Did you notice that?
Oh, you gotta have place pockets.
Like, where am I going to put this cargo? Well, I'm going to put them right.
Sure, they'll give you
pocket.
your swag bag, but you never know when you got to tuck a blue snag in your pocket.
Did you say a snag bag?
A snag bag.
All right, next kind of guy, and this kind of guy comes in a 3-pack. Okay, there's 3 versions of this guy. Much like some Funkos come in 3-packs.
Right.
And we'll get to the Funkos in a minute, but this guy comes in a 3-pack of variety. There's the guy who's there because his kids wanted to go. So he's there, maybe a little bit reluctantly there, but he's doing it for his kids. So he's trying to have a good attitude, and he's trying not to buy everything that the kids are geeking out on. But, you know, you get like 2 things, and then we'll get like a churro on the way out, you know. And he inevitably is there longer than he wants to be. And
it was Sunday, football's on.
And is trying to stay off of his fantasy football reports because then he'll find scores, and he doesn't want to see scores until he gets home into the DVR. And inevitably spends a little more money than he wished he would have too.
Maybe you can speed the kids out of there if you buy them.
yeah, if you get him something, it's like, okay, well, it's time to go. And but overall, he's there for good purposes, and he's there for the kids, right? Not his first choice of what he wanted to do for a Sunday,
But not a terrible choice.
but not a terrible choice either.
The kids are happy.
The second version of this guy is there because his girlfriend wanted to go, or maybe his wife wanted to go. And maybe he's not into the comics or cartoons or sci-fi, but his wife is. So they're making a, air quotes, a date out of it, but it's really for her, right?
Sure.
Because, you know, one thing I have noticed over the last 10 years, just in collecting aside, there's a lot more women now than there used to be in this genre at these types of events. And that's a good thing. Well, sometimes they bring their boyfriend or husband along, and he's, again, a little reluctant about the choice of, air quote, date, and is really wondering why she couldn't have just asked one of her friends to go instead.
It could be a relationship test.
It could be. It could be early on, seeing how
He's going to take her
how
to
dedicated are you?
He's going to take her to like a basketball game or something in a month to see how she does, you know, and just, you know, see if it's a give and take.
Maybe they're still kind of feeling the relationship out a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like that idea.
Maybe she's wearing a costume that he's never seen before, so you know he's willing to take a chance.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it seems fun, a little spontaneous, a little outside of the box.
But he's still a little uncomfortable with the whole situation.
Yeah, because he's maybe it's the first one he's ever been to, or maybe he doesn't know the gal quite. Like when she said she was going to dress up in a costume, maybe he had his eyes or his head kind of wrapped around a different idea.
Sure.
And then when she walked out as
a, you know,
Pikachu or something like that, he was, oh,
yeah.
okay.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a anime.
This is a milestone in our relationship, and I'm going to remember this and see if I like it.
I'm going to think about this a lot tonight when you drop me back off at my apartment.
Right. And my moped.
Well, we are in Portland after
we
all.
are.
Mopeds
Please.
abound.
And
And then the third version of this guy, who is there reluctantly. Again, the reluctance is the theme of this 3-pack. He's there reluctantly because his girlfriend and or spouse has the perfect matching outfit to her outfit that she had gotten done for him. And he's not super jazzed about it. It's not something maybe that he would have preferred, like maybe an Optimus Prime or a Master Chief or even a Luke Skywalker, Han Solo type. You know, it's Raggedy Ann and Andy, or it's man, I can't. It's
he has to be Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
you know, and he's really not built for it.
Yeah, it's a different body type.
Sure. The skeleton is implied.
Perhaps, you know, there's one in there, and so he's only there because he's hoping it will pay off later, right? That's the only reason why he's
implied.
There. Also implied, crossing his fingers, trying not to be too disgruntled, trying to have a good attitude, but it's not showing on his face.
Don't get jealous when she gets her picture taken. Come on.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
So the reluctant guy comes in 3 versions.
Sure.
And each a little bit more reluctant than the first one. But I don't feel any sympathy for the guy who dresses up.
No.
Because if you're dressing up at this point, you know what you've gotten yourself into.
Yep.
And
cosplay.
You've only got yourself to blame.
But, you know, you should also look at the bright side. I mean, if she likes to dress up in public, then let's keep it going.
Let's connect some dots here.
Let's do it. Let's continue.
Right, exactly. I knew what you meant.
Thank you. I have a few guys. Can I add some guys?
Yes, I've got 2 more, but go ahead.
I want to hear yours, but I have, and this one's Star Wars related directly, but I've noticed this at a few of the cons. I call them the one-up Boba Fetters.
Okay.
And I challenge you to go to a con, in the near future and find just a straight up Boba Fett. Canon looking Boba Fett. I challenge you because you got the Boba Fett one-uppers. And these are the guys that have taken the Boba Fett costume and mashed them up with something else.
Made it completely their own.
Completely their own. Still cool. Obviously, the base is still Boba Fett.
Still Mandalorian.
Still Mandalorian.
Looking.
You get the Mandalorian helmet. That's where everything starts. That's about the end of it. Because after that, we're going down the trail of Boba Fett Predator, Boba Fett Superman.
Zombie Boba Fett.
Zombie Boba Fett's a big one. Boba Fett. We saw Boba Fett.
We did see Boba Fett one.
Which is fine. Hey, you know what?
Yeah. He was taking pictures with everyone.
Bounty hunting's been good to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He's not just living off the fat of the land.
No. He's like, hey, I'm tired of working for Jabba. I'm going to be Jabba. So, Hello Kitty Boba Fett. It just doesn't matter. It's one up Boba Fett's. Just one. I did not see a straight up Boba Fett.
No, we probably saw, I don't know how many, 4 or 5 different Boba Fetts.
Yep. None of them canon. None of them OG. All of them mashups. Which are, by the way, I'm just having a joke here. They're cool. They're super cool. I mean, one guy had tons of lights going on. I don't even know what he was. What was he? Looks like he got hit with a paintball gun or something. He was like,
yeah,
he was rave Boba Fett.
He was Jackson Pollock Boba Fett.
Sure.
If you understand the art reference.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. So there's another thing. So just look for your one-up Boba Fetts. Actually, I want to start a hashtag one-up Boba Fett and just start posting all the pictures of Boba Fetts that aren't Boba Fetts because they're the best. They're good for them. I don't even know. I don't know when this trend started, but I like it. But I also think it's funny. And then you have. Can I do my second? Or
do it.
I don't want to step on your group in case you wrote this down.
Do it.
Then I have guys, and we're still just talking about straight dudes here, not just only dudes. I got guys that like to dress up as their favorite characters and the characters are probably between 6 and 6'5", and they're probably between 5'5" and 5'8". That's my favorite because we saw Baby John Wick.
We saw,
and it was the greatest thing ever.
We saw a 5'3" John Wick, and
that's with the big heels.
That's with the boots, yeah.
Oh, Baby John Wick was my favorite. He was so small. I just could have picked him up, put him in my pocket, carried him. Got real angry in there, and said, "Hey, calm down. Yeah. Your dog's fine. Your dog's fine.
Calm down.
Calm it down." But Baby John Wick was my favorite, and
Baba
then there's
Yaga.
Just all kinds
Baby
of
Yaga.
Just all kinds of I'm sorry, I have a third and then I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
This is you activated this.
Okay.
The third is the fantastic group, the compilation group.
Oh, yes.
I love the compilation group.
Yes.
And in this case, it was a Princess Bride trio.
Yeah.
And that was Dread Pirate Roberts, Inigo Montoya, and then of course the Princess Bride. And Inigo Montoya was fantastic. He had far too many Jerry curls going on.
Oh, he had such
a mustache that didn't match.
No.
And I actually stopped him and Dread Pirate Roberts or Wesley, whatever. He didn't have much of a chin going on there, but he was hiding behind the black mask. It was fine. I just love these guys. And they just walked away from the beer gardens holding a beer. And I was like, hey, can I get a picture of you with my daughters? And to their
Princess Buttercup.
Yeah, and marriage. They're like, oh, we got our beers. They're trying to hide their beers. I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. It makes it better. Just take the picture. So I took a picture with these three and my daughters who love the Princess Bride. And I'm holding up the camera. I'm like, say you killed my father, and they all smile. And then the Inigo Montoya, he stops me and like puts out his hand and he goes, if you see the six-fingered man, let me know. And it's just like, thank you so much. Just as oil is dripping on my hand.
He's selling it hard. Oh, that was great. I didn't get to see those guys. We weren't together at that point.
We might post that up too, but
please do because it's a great picture. Now I got 3 more guys left. 3 more guys that you might see.
Okay.
There's the guy that's got 20% of an outfit, but he hasn't finished it yet. But he said, screw it, I'm going to wear it anyway.
Right.
And you can't really tell what he is. So there's a lot of, is he anime? Is he comic.
Well, it's called limping in.
He limped in, and he's going to be great in 2020. That's
Sure.
his year.
If another Magic the Gathering pack doesn't come out.
Also true. Oh man, now I got
Well, we
just
got
remembered.
Rise of Skywalker's getting really. I mean, that's an interruption to your costume building.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely get in the way of a couple evenings worth of build.
There's only so many months left.
Yeah, speaking of that guy who crawls out of a basement to make his way to a Comic-Con that hasn't showered, that needs to shower.
Sure.
I walked by a few of those guys.
And those guys, what I like about them is that they can influence an entire crowd with their passing.
Like all of a sudden, the whole aisle is
just looking around.
It's just
looking around. And then you can spot him. He's like, oh.
Yeah, you walk by.
Cheeto shirt did it.
You walk by. Oh, gosh, that reminds me of the guy dressed up as Weird Al.
Oh, he was the best.
He was like 18.
He was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, he was like a high school kid dressed up as Weird Al. And I don't know who said something to him or what was said to him, but when he walked by me, he turned around over his shoulder and said, "I'm not Brian May." And I lost it because he had this big black perm wig on. And so for those that don't get the reference, Brian May is the guitarist for Queen, who has a big curly haired mop of a wig.
But he was wearing like a Hawaiian shirt. I mean, he was definitely Weird Al when I saw him.
Yeah, it was an MTV Hawaiian shirt. It was totally, and he had the little wire rim glasses, and he was definitely Weird Al.
He might have been 14. He was young.
He was. And the fact that he yelled kind of pissy. He was like, "I'm not Brian May." Oh, God, that was good. That was good. All right. Two more guys. No, one more guy, Josh. And this guy's a sad guy.
Oh.
He's sad. He's a guy that came dressed up, or maybe not dressed up, but his foam sword is broken.
Oh.
That guy.
Yeah.
He's got a broken... it may not be a foam sword.
Just a prop malfunction.
Just a weapon that is now in more than one piece.
Right.
And that guy's a little sad because...
So dejected cosplay.
Yeah. Or just dejected...
Period.
Weapon wielder.
Right.
You know, because he spent a little time on it.
Spent a lot of time on it. You know how hard it is to carve that foam?
It's not easy.
You got to use like a hot iron or something.
Hot butter knife.
A wire. Hot wire. That's what it is.
Hot wire. Yeah. So anyway, there's some of the guys that I have seen now my second. You know, I'm kind of noticing these. You know, I think the more that I go to these things, the more I'll see these kinds of people. And,
sure.
And you know, reach out to them and get my pictures taken with them, and you know, put my arm around them, and say, "Hey, you know, it'll work out."
You did good.
End. Yeah.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not.
It's not your fault.
Hey, guy that's here reluctantly. It's not your fault.
Quit. Stop it.
It's not your fault.
So,
and maybe by the end of the evening, he'll be saying, "You like apples?
Yeah. How about them apples?
How about them apples?"
And either way, and just some honorable mentions. Cosplayers on stilts scare the hell out of me.
Stilt cosplayers. Crazy.
I don't know how often they're practicing at home, but it looks like they're about to fall on you every time they come around the corner, and they're scary as hell. Those guys, honorable mention. And then I had one more, but I forgot. But don't worry, there's
shirtless Bucky.
Now shirtless Borderlands guy. There were several of those.
Yes.
And
shirtless Bucky too.
Right. Yeah. Bucky. The Winter Soldier, who looks like he's pre-winter,
getting ready
for the hibernation. But yeah, love all that. And by the way, you know, it's not. Here's a real deal. It's fun to make jokes, but I love these people. They are my people. I love them so much. I'm so proud of how brave they are.
They're doing things that I wouldn't.
They're putting themselves out there, and in a lot of ways, I think some people, it's the best way for them to express themselves.
Yeah,
the most honest way, and I love that.
And they're kind of fishing for like people. You know what I mean? They're
in the right pond.
Yeah. So I mean, where else can you go do something like this and see other people that are in your same boat? Right.
Yeah. And as far as cosplay, you know, we joked a little bit about Boba Fett and, you know, let's be honest. I was laughing with Andy. I'm like, because you were even like, oh, should we even? And I'm like, no. Here, you're talking to the guy who built a stormtrooper outfit and couldn't wear it because the thighs didn't fit.
You're a big thigh guy.
I just need a lot of plastic to. I mean, there's some lines on those thighs that don't exist in canon. I'll tell you that much. I need some Durasteel to keep those things on.
Are your thighs a little thick for a stormtrooper?
That's what it is, right there. I don't know. It helped in football, but it doesn't help in cosplay.
Well, maybe not for the stormtrooper.
Yeah, no. I've always said, like, look, I just need to convert to snowtrooper, and I'm good. They got big old baggy parachute pants. I'm good to go.
Yeah, big overcoat or a cape.
Yeah,
you know?
anything black that could just hide me.
Yeah,
it'd be perfect.
You could be a great Vader. Although,
I need some boots for that too.
some heeled.
I'm not short, but I'm not Vader tall either.
Yeah, well, who is? I mean,
who is? Right?
Who is really?
But much love to the cosplayers out there. Thank you. And if you're listening, you're a cosplayer. We absolutely love you. We appreciate your courage
and a little
your
bit
creativity.
It's a little bit of jealous of you too.
Absolutely jealous.
I am. Lastly, Josh, I think I need to. I think it's confession time.
Uh-oh.
But before that, Josh, where can you find us on social media?
Well, let me tell you. It's pretty easy. You can find us at Holochronicles on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and on all the major podcast platforms. If you found us and you're listening to us here, you don't need to know that. But if you're sharing with a friend and they're like, well, I don't have an iPhone, I don't listen to podcasts, well, they can go to Spotify or they can go to TuneIn,
Google
or
Play,
SoundCloud, all those places. So find us if you search for Holochronicles in any or iHeartRadio, which is touting themselves as the #1 podcast platform, which is interesting.
Okay.
But you can find us in all those locations. And thanks. And hey, share, like, subscribe. It really does help us.
Review.
Drop
a review.
Yeah.
We appreciate your honesty.
If you're a one-up Boba Fett, go ahead.
Send us a picture.
One-up it. Let's see what you got. I want to see it.
I want to see it too.
I'm ready. I want to see all the Boba Fetts.
So I think I properly teased confession time, but I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to tease it for, 2 minutes from now.
Okay.
Because we're bringing back an old game.
Ooh.
Here on the Holochronicles podcast. Maybe even back when it was originally called.
We don't know if we've done this as the Holochronicles.
I know we did it as the Escape Pod, which you will never find on any platform.
No, because there's already another or like 17 other Escape Pods. We thought we were super creative when we came up with that one.
Oh, hey, guess what we can be?
We can be the Escape Pod.
This makes perfect sense because the Millennium Falcon has an Escape Pod and we're a podcast.
Genius.
We're excellent. We're just 10 years late to the podcast.
So instead we butchered Holocron and turned it into Holochronicles. So you're welcome. But anyway,
the game is name that vintage Star Wars toy. And it's the toy itself has some sort of electronic in it that makes a noise.
I like that you use electronic. That implies there's a circuit board.
There are 2 wires, a motor, and a battery.
And a plastic and a gear and a plastic on your bike.
Yeah, like when you put a baseball card in your spokes, like that. Yeah. Well, the same thing applies here.
High tech from the 70s.
We could pull any sort of Star Wars vehicle from 1970, technically 78, to 1985 that has electronics in it. And you have to determine which vehicle the sound is coming from.
Some pretty similar. Some
sound pretty similar.
So this might be a challenge. Now, of course, we're not going to reveal it on the pod. We're going to wait for you to post your response at Holochronicles on Twitter. So if you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. What are you? What's wrong with you? And we'll reveal that via Twitter. And then, of course, let you know on the pod later on, next pod.
So, Josh,
I'm ready.
Like to do the honor since it is your vehicle?
It is my vehicle. Okay, here we go. Fresh batteries. I did find that you have to press lightly on the button, not too hard, or else it doesn't work.
Fresh batteries, vintage toy.
Vintage toy. Here we go. Now, I'll give you a hint. I'm going to do a flyby.
Oh. Well, that sounded cool.
Isn't that a wonderful noise?
Wow.
As we blew out speakers and cars everywhere.
Probably not.
Just beautiful. I mean, nothing says
vintage Star Wars
Star
toy
Wars like that sound.
Then AA batteries and a little gear on a motor.
Oh, it's beautiful. So there you go. There's your challenge.
What vintage Star Wars toy?
And if you so desire, go ahead and post a video of your answer.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. Go ahead and show us what you got. Show us your hashtag, show us your collection, hashtag vintage sounds. I don't know. Hashtag.
Vintage toys.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway,
So,
just
there you
tag
go.
us.
Just tag us
in it. All
All right.
right,
Holochronicles.
Josh, it's confession time.
Okay.
For our last segment here. I feel like I need to come clean. I think I might have hinted at it last week with our pod with our guest, the wonderful
Dominic Pace.
Dominic Pace.
Goodness. And thank you for all the love on Twitter so far. And also from Dominic himself. Really good stuff. I think it's safe to say we had to bounce around it a little bit and let him say it. But it's safe to say that Dominic has a role in The Mandalorian. It's on his IMDb.
It's, yeah, you're right. He couldn't say everything that we wanted him to say about it, but he definitely shared that, and we got to talk about it a little bit. And if you haven't listened to that one, please go back. That would be episode 23.
Yep.
And
got his handsome mug right there on the on the image. He's a good dude, man. He was a lot of fun to interview, and our first interview, which was
seemed
great.
appropriate too. Like a guy who's on a Star Wars thing. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I can't wait to interview him sometime in late November.
I'm
December.
thinking after he takes his family to Galaxy's Edge.
There you go.
And
That's a good one.
Then we can talk about that and what life's been like.
So thanks again to Dominic, and go look him up, go like him, go follow him on Twitter. I don't have his handle, but just search Dominic Pace. You'll find
At
him.
Dominic Pace.
At Dominic Pace. There you go. Easy as that.
Or Dominic P. Pace.
Oh, see, now you're screwing it up.
one
Don't
or the
follow
other.
the wrong Dominic Pace.
Please don't. But anyway,
Confession time.
confession time with Andy. For years now, Josh, I have been a staunch no thank you when it comes to Funko Pops. I didn't really like them. I thought they were more of a kid thing.
As opposed to
As opposed to all
these
the
vintage toys.
As all the toys that I have. Yeah. It's funny for me to say that out loud.
It is. It is.
But no, I thought that it would be something that maybe my son would be interested in. My kids might be interested in it. But because, they've only been around, maybe 6 years, 5 years. I actually don't even know how long
I have
they've been
no
around.
idea how long Funko's been around. Which I'm sorry, but I don't.
Well,
Because I'm with you.
Definitely
I was with what you were.
Definitely since, The Force Awakens. So that would be 2015 and probably a little before that.
I think they're before that for sure.
And so that's why I said maybe around 6 years. So maybe like 2013. I honestly don't know. And somebody will correct me, I'm sure. But I didn't want to start collecting them. And it's not like a Black Series thing, because Black Series, I think, are awesome. Like you said, Josh, they are how action figures should be made. And I knew that if I were to start collecting Black Series, that I would end up having
Too many?
a lot, and they keep coming out with more, and I just wouldn't be able to help myself.
New beautiful boxes.
And so I think I did a good job. Although I did dip my toe in Black Series a couple times and then sold them off and thought I was going to keep some of them, but then no, I held strong and sold them off. And I've been pretty good about that, I feel like, as a collector, staying in my lane, so to speak.
Yeah.
But Funkos weren't even a thing like I was even remotely interested in. I thought they looked weird and they were kind of silly, and so I strayed, and it wasn't even a difficult decision.
Plus, they weren't like exclusively Star Wars, meaning you felt like they were dipping their toe in a lot of stuff, and
and
also overwhelming by the time I came across them. Like, I don't even know where to start. Right?
There are so many.
Sure.
There's well over 5,000. Like, it's probably at this point maybe closer to 10,000. Again, I don't know for sure, but even just in the Star Wars, there's hundreds of Funko Pops. And a week ago,
This is the confession. I'm listening.
A week ago, I bought part of a collection, not the entire collection because I didn't have unlimited funds to spend, but there was a follower on Twitter who reached out and said, "Hey, I'm selling a bunch of my collection. Are you interested in any of it?" So he sent me some pictures. You know, he had some Legos, he had a bunch of Funkos, and I don't know what it was that compelled me, but I bought a lot of Funkos from him. And also, to coincide with that, some of the ones that I was getting from him, I also got on eBay and I purchased some off of eBay to go with them because, like, I got the X-Wing 3-pack of, like, Biggs and Porkins and Wedge.
Right.
And I think those are the three.
Yeah.
And so I knew I wanted a Luke in X-Wing suit to go with that group.
Right.
And so I bought a few more online that week as well. And I found reasonable prices. I didn't pay exorbitant amounts. And I even bought some at ComicCon yesterday or on Sunday, and I did not pay over $10 for any of them. So I feel like I'm getting good deals, and I got good deals from his handle is at NJ for New Jersey _tree. His name's Dan. So I'd like to give a shout out to Dan for finding me at the right time, and then being willing to sell some of his collection to me. And he couldn't have been a nicer guy about it. Like, you know, we've talked about before, you never know why people are selling off their collections if they have to, or if they just want to run out of space, or it's time for something else or whatever. It just seemed like he was running out of room. I don't know if that's true, Dan. I apologize if I'm speaking for you, but he sold me a bunch of his Funkos, and there's a decent chance he might next month sell me a few more.
Decent chance.
And
Dan, you found a honey hole here.
Oh boy. Or is it a sucker? I don't know. At this point, I don't know.
Trying to be nice.
But I don't know why all of a sudden, I truly don't, Josh. I don't know why all of a sudden I want Funkos.
You fell in the funk hole.
I don't want all of them. There are some that I have zero interest in. And I'm speaking specifically Star Wars.
Okay.
There are some that I have no desire to have. But there are some that I need.
That's
which is a problem.
So, all right, you got something to add?
At this point,
anymore
no.
You want to get off your chest?
I feel like I needed to get that off, and I told a friend of ours, like, I almost feel a little embarrassed about it.
Yeah, you should.
Because I was so against having them before, like, oh, Funkos, those are dumb,
right?
You know, and now I've done a complete 180, which people change.
Yeah,
people change.
Well, here's the deal. I'll just jump in here.
Please do.
You can go back not too many pods of ours, like, I don't know, somewhere in the 10 teens, somewhere in there. Doesn't matter, 10 to 15.
We're only at 24.
I don't remember which one it was. Yeah, but that's spread out. That's basically a year almost here. But yeah, you were knocking Funkos.
I know.
We coined the phrase funk hole.
Going down the funk hole.
Going down the I don't think anyone else has ever said that. That's a Holochronicles coined phrase, funk hole. And if you said it before us, we don't care because we made it up without seeing what you said.
We're
so
claiming
it's ours.
We're claiming it.
The funk hole.
And the patent is pending.
Yeah, copyright. But yeah.
Copyright, yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter. We were patenting an actual hole that we've made where Andy throws all his money. But it's the funk hole. And so I want to say this. Dan sounds like a really nice guy. By the way, that's a pseudo collector tip. Start a podcast. Create a Twitter account, and then you can find guys that'll just sell you their Funko stuff. Funk hole stuff is what I was going to say. So
They're funkin' stuff.
They're funkin' stuff. So, Dan, you sound like a real great guy, but to me, you're a bit of an enabler. All right? Sounds like Andy was real strong. He's doing fine. You know what? He was just at the gateway. He was hanging around the gateway. He's just, hey, we know there's a danger there, but some of us like to dabble a little bit, want to have a good time.
It's what I tell my son. You're guilty by association.
Well, sure.
You hang around enough people, and pretty soon you're going to get the reputation that they have.
I'm just saying,
wrong, or otherwise.
I'm just saying, you were just puffing on the vintage and a little couple of other things. But then,
and somebody said, "Hey,
psst,
psst, hey,
first one's free."
Hey, psst. And he flashed open the inside pocket of his vest.
And you're like, "Hey, I'm a strong guy."
His overcoat. And he says, "Hey, psst."
I was part of the group that was like, "Don't do Funkos." It was like Dare, but for Funkos. And
Dare.
I would never do that. I would never do that. It's actually on record.
Thank you.
In the pod universe, it's on record. And then boom, one hit.
I'm hooked.
You're hooked. And I don't know how to bring you back. All right.
Well, you have avoided the funk hole.
I have, and I got one. I own a funk. Well, two now. You son of a gun.
I accidentally bought two of one, and I gave one to.
Yeah, and I was like, "Take it away, get it out of here."
That's how bad this week was. I accidentally bought two of the same one because I couldn't keep track of the ones I was getting.
Comes in with this little leather kit and unzips it right on my kitchen counter and slides over a Funko. I'm like, I don't want it. What are you doing? I got kids, man.
What if they see me with this?
What if this is the wrong message?
I learned it by watching you. Okay.
This is your brain. This is your brain on Funko. So anyway, I have two. All right. And I don't even like having those two. I'm not happy about it.
Well, stay strong. Stay gold, pony boy.
Right. Right. One day I'll be walking out here to get a midnight snack. And instead I'll hit a Funko.
Because they're just stacked in corners of the house.
And I'll trip over a Funko and end up partaking.
And Dan.
Is that enough Funko drug references? Have I done it? Have I hit that point home?
Have you hit the dragon? Have you puffed on the Funko dragon?
All right. But no. In all seriousness, again, like I described at the beginning, so I don't have to have everything. And actually, you helped me learn that by when you gave up your Black Series collection to me, which a bit of an enabler yourself, and I went down the Crack series,
Crack series, yeah.
And then you were cool. You're like, hey, and you come over and you look at them. You're like, oh, those are great. A little longingly, a little like I don't know what you call that. Recovering Black Series person.
I itch a little when I see it.
You grab a coffee and a smoke, and you're like, "Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, it's great. Oh, those are great up there. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing it, not me.
Yeah.
So
good on you.
Yeah. Woo, can I have a club soda, please? So I like that.
Or a White Claw.
Yeah, White Claw. So I like that. I can go over to your place. I can pass by your dirty, disheveled kids who haven't eaten in a couple days. And just go to your room full of Funkos. By the way,
well, it's not full. In full disclosure, I went from 0 to 43 in a week.
Full disclosure,
I got 43 now.
Full explosion, full implosion.
But see,
that's the way you do.
There's only 6 more than I want. There's just 6 more.
Just 6 more, man. Just 6 more. I'll be done.
That's all I want. I want to finish off the bounty hunters, and I want to finish off the rebels.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
That's it. That's all I want. That's
all right.
It.
Listen up, BMBers. Listen up, BMBers. We need an intervention.
medical droid. That's it. That's all I want.
We need an intervention.
Oh my gosh.
But no, here you go. Here's your fun fact. 1998 was when founder Mike Becker first came out with a themed bobblehead named
Freddy Funko.
They were called Wacky Wobblers.
Oh.
Yeah, and they made the Big Boy bobblehead was the first one, and then in 2010 is when they first came out with the Pop series, which is Funko Pop. That's what you have. So we call them Funkos now, but Funko Pop is actually the items they use. So 2010, they've been around a while.
Yeah, you know who we should get on here is Pop Vinyl or Vinyl Pop.
Oh, sure.
Matt Norris.
Skip the drug dealer, go straight to the cartel.
Exactly.
No, we should get him on. That'd be fun.
He could answer some of my questions. Like, is there? Do you know any good websites?
Yeah.
Hey, baby,
It'll just be a deal.
you got any more of them Funkos?
All right. Anything else for us, Andy?
No, we're not going to do trivia this week. And don't forget to see if you can name the vintage Star Wars toy that sounds like this.
Oh, different levels. That's how hard I push the button. Like lightly. Depressed.
Firmly.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, wait.
That one sounds like it's got like glass packs on the muffler and kind of rumbling a little.
Sure. That one's souped up.
Should we give any hints?
Nope.
Like, should we say if it has a light or not?
Well, they all have lights.
No, they don't.
I'm just saying that to throw them off.
Okay.
But yes, it has a light.
There is a light, or
That's
are there
enough.
lights?
That's enough. Jeez,
are there
what is
lights?
It's like Christmas night, and Mom's just like, you know what's in there?
Sorry, you're talking to a guy who just succumbed to a temptation.
Apparently,
and
you have
now,
no self-control.
Now the wheels are falling
I don't know.
off.
I got to end this pod just to have a real conversation with you, Jiminy.
Andy, we need to talk.
No, but thank you. Hey, go to a con. There's a con near you. Go have some fun. We'd love to hear your observations. If you have a profile, make sure it's nice. I mean, I think we were pretty nice. And I think we wrapped it around like we love them in all shapes and sizes.
Yes.
We love you cosplayers out there. If you have any of your own categories that you formed through your various cons, I know that we are for sure not the highest attending people to Comicons compared to some of our listeners. But they're fantastic. They're fun. And they're a great place to increase your collection and see things you just... Look, you can get on the internet, you can search for anything, but you end up just kind of going to a couple different places. But if you go to a con, you just get to walk through. It's like the internet's passing by you in a local, fun way. So,
side note, last thing, Josh. There was yet another fan theory that predicts that Mace still is alive.
Well, duh.
I know it's kind of
not even a theory.
It's recycled.
Yeah.
It's recycled.
Please, Mace lives,
but with more support. And I don't know if we can talk to our buddy Bob Iger.
We'll get him. Yeah,
Bobby. If we can influence at all, but I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah, and hey, follow us at Holochronicles on Twitter. Like, subscribe, comment, and you guys
love to hear from you soon.
Yeah, have a good time, and the force be with you.
I'm gonna see you, Josh.
See you, Andy.
Bye.
Crackhead.
Mace lives.
This party's over.
Say base.
Take a seat, young Scott.
Oh, snap.
For your own good, stay out of this thing.
Oh, yeah, Mace talking big.
If what you've told me is true, you will have gained my trust.
Mace trust.